before we get started, ignore this little tuft of hair looking Jimmy Neutron like. I've been trying to get it down the whole time before I hit record here, and it's not complying. So you're just gonna have to ignore it. Anyway, how's it going? So, I am about to share with you a concept in this video that is gonna change how you think about signing clients in your coaching or consulting business completely. And it's a really, really exciting concept because I've never really seen many people speak about this concept. I've never seen people kind of give much thought to it. And actually, if you look around at the people trying to build their businesses, they're doing the opposite. They're actually making this mistake and they're not utilizing this concept, which means, especially in this day and age where there is a real lack of trust with services, especially online services, if you can utilize the concept that I'm about to teach you, you will be in a much, much better place, and signing clients will be 10 times easier, and it's a lot more fun as well. So the concept that I wanted to share with you is buyer's momentum, right? So you've heard of buyer's remorse. They buy something and they don't like what they've got and they're thinking, why the fuck did I buy that thing? Buyer's momentum is almost the opposite effect, right? It's where when someone buys, they want to buy again, right? And it's so true. You probably experienced this yourself. I know for a fact, when I bought my iPad, I was in the Apple store, bought the iPad, and then what's next? AppleCare. What's next? The overpriced iPad, what's it called? Case, whatever it is, like a screen protector thing. What's next? The pen. It starts, you get on a roll of spending money with this company or with this person, right? And it happens all over the place because once someone's finally at that point of, let's say someone spent some money with you, you've taken them from an unaware place to a place where they're aware of their problem, to a place where they're starting to think about solutions, to a place where they've decided that you and your solution can be their solution. And now they're actually looking to take action in that state, and the state where they've actually finally decided who to trust as well, which is you at that point because they've spent some money with you, and they're in the state of now finally taking action. They are in the state where they're most likely to spend more money. So when someone spent some money with you, they're more likely to spend more money with you, right? We can probably all agree on that. The problem is most people are not giving this any thought when it comes to their actual business, because what are most coaches doing? Most coaches are putting out loads of free content. They're trying to give all their stuff away for free, right? They're giving away loads of free content. And then they've been told to have one program at one price point, only sell one thing, keep it simple. So then what do? They've got free content on one side and they're giving things away for free. And then on the other side, they've got like a 2K program or a 3K program or something. And they are hoping for the prospect to go from free stuff, and jump all the way to paying them 2K, 3K. Most of the time they ask for it up front, 2K, 3K to work with them. It works for a tiny, tiny percentage of your audience. And eventually, that tiny, tiny, tiny 1% of your audience that are willing to make that leap, you've sold. And then what you're left with? What feels like a dead audience. And this is why so many coaches are obsessed with needing more followers. I don't know why I did that for followers, they are called followers, but they're obsessed with needing more followers and growing their audience because they're so poor at actually being able to convert their current audience because of the way that they've set things up. And they're only converting the tiniest percent. So when we can actually understand the concept of buyer's momentum and we can start to harness it for ourselves, we can start to actually convert a way higher percentage of our audience. We can make use of a much smaller follower count. So this is great if you've got a small following. It's also great if you've got a big following, either way. We can make use of the follower account that we've already got, and we can make sure that we're constantly making sales. So how do we do that? So I'm going to tell you how I've done this. right? So instead of having, I'm just gonna pause for 1 second because there's don't know what this thing is, but it's making a lot of noise. 1 sec. So with everything being said, what can we take from this? And then I'm gonna tell you how I've actually done this. What we can take from this is, instead of trying to make your prospect make that huge leap, and that's the only way that you can make sales, what if all we tried to do was to get your buyers, or to get your audience, turn them into buyers and get them into momentum, and then we allowed the momentum to carry them through and eventually actually become that 2K client that we wanted. So I'm going to tell you about how I've done this, right? Not too long ago, I did a micro offer and I sold about 14 people onto a £150 product, right? Not too much, completely group, no access to me one-on-one. They were basically just getting access to the things that I was already creating for clients, right? For £150. And then as we went through that, there was 14 of those there. I took my core program, I shortened it down to 12 weeks, and I made them the offer to join for 12 weeks and to credit the £150 that they've spent already off of the total price of the 12 weeks, right? Making that 12 weeks not an intimidating or scary leap from what they've already paid, and being able to inject them with that energy that is credited money that they can now spend on moving to the next level, right? And then I think about 50% actually jumped up to that level after their time in there, or if I see that they just want more support, I'll do the same thing. I'll credit the money that they've spent into the next product, the next program, or the next offer that I will make them, whether they want deeper access and intimacy with me, or whether they just want longer time frame of what they've already done. We can take what they've already paid and we can credit that back and keep the buyer in momentum. So what does this mean for us? All we need to do, instead of free content, hoping that they eventually pay us £2,000, all we need to do is wake up every week, go into the week, and let's say you've got 1,000 followers. Let's just do a nice round number. All we need to do this week, for example, is get 5 or 10 of them to make a transaction with us. Even if it's £75, even if it's £100, right? Probably not what you're used to charging, but even if we can get 10 to make a transaction with us of £75, once we've got those 10 in momentum and we've seen what kind of intention they've got because of what they've actually just bought and what they've actually got from us, we can then make them the next offer, credit the money that they've paid, and keep them in momentum all the way until they become that 2K client of ours or more, because this can continue, right? And of course, not every single person is going to perfectly go through this, but it's a really good way to actually, instead of just kind of trying to get all of those 2K clients by brute force, it's a really, really good way to be able to actually start to get creative with the offers that we can make your audience. Every single week or every single month, try and just create some sort of transaction with a handful of your audience every single week, get them into motion, and then once they're in motion and momentum, we move them on to the next level, we move them on to the next level, we move them on to the next level. All of those times we have taken them out of the market, we've got them into your world, and what better place to actually build trust with you and actually begin to see that you are the real deal, you're not a scam artist like they might be worried about, than actually inside your program. So that's how me and my clients are using buyer's momentum. Very few people are talking about this. The quicker that you get on this, the better. So think about that for yourself. Next week, next couple of weeks, what can you create that can create a transaction with a small handful of your audience and start to get them into momentum, start to spend some time with you, and then be able to actually upsell them to the next offer and the next offer and the next offer. And being creative with this is the thing that allows you to create the right offers.